And welcome to the Writer's Life, a place where you get the sight, sound, smells, taste of my particular writer's life, where you get the truth about the writer's life. Subscribe if you haven't already. Punch the like button. Tap the bell for notifications. Tap it so you don't miss out on one single informative video. I think I'll go with that one now, informative, instead of exciting. Alright, so we're into the new month, August 2024. What's today, the 4th? The Ashes is the best seller so far. Go figure. And I seem to sell like paperbacks in clumps. I don't know why that is, but that's how it happens. And Max Gator is still hanging in there, even though the price has been normalized. That's number 2. I forget what number 3 is, but Max Gator did really well in its promo, and it got a ton of really good reviews, ton of 4 and 5 star reviews. So here's like a piece of Pulp Fiction that I just pounded out in like 2 or 3 weeks. It's novel length. Definitely one of those books that I just love to read. One of those plots I love to watch in a movie or a series. So it's just pure fun, pure fun. And I'm doing, well then from, that I recently took a month and a week and wrote the third novel in the Rebecca Underhill trilogy. That's psychological suspense / horror. That one's a little more difficult because I had to stay true to the trilogy, and I had to deal with characters that have aged. And there's definitely an element of thriller, of literary thriller in there. So it takes a little bit longer, but it's still the type of book I want to read. Still the kind of movie I want to see. The first book of that series, The Remains, which sold wildly, and the second book, The Ashes, did very well too. But the first one was also an editor's pick. That was going to be bought, and we were actually in negotiations with Mel Gibson's company, Icon, at the time. I'm going back about 6 years. But the deal fell through because the person handling the deal quit. So no deal. That was it. They were on to something else. That's happened to me so many times. Anyway, so all's going well though. One quick thing I wanted to talk about, because people have been asking me this. How exactly do you make your money? What are your income streams? No, I don't make all my money off of my book sales directly. I just don't. I don't know of anybody who does. There are a few authors out there who still rely on advances, because they can still command a 6-figure advance, and they don't even have to earn it out. I'm talking like the Harlan Cobens, Don Winslow's of the world, maybe. That's all I did last decade, almost entirely, into this decade. And then I became much more reliant on the independent method, which so many of us are embracing now, journalists as well. Now we have stuff, Substack. So there was that's what I used to do back then, along with a little freelance writing, and that was about it. But now I have multiple income sources, streams. The major one is Amazon. Second is Draft to Digital. Third is Google Partners Books, but that's like beer money at this point. And they only sell if you're running like a BookBub or another kind of promo. Amazon Associates. What else do I do? Freelance writing. And I also have investments. And this is, again, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your dad. I hope. I got enough kids. I love them all. Nah, if I'm your dad, come on, you can live with me. But I invest a certain portion of everything I make. This is just what I do. I invest a certain portion of everything I make into Bitcoin, and a little bit into Ethereum too. Bitcoin has gone from like, oh, that's a crazy Ponzi scheme, to now it's on the ballot, the presidential election ballot. So I suspect right now the prices it's been fluctuating between like 55 and 75. Well, it hasn't hit 75 yet. It hit 74, but it's been fluctuating in that area. So it's been pretty boring. But it's still a way better place to park your money, in my opinion, than the bank. So I don't really use the bank other than to borrow money, and then I pay them back. I pay them back, like, sometimes, depending on what I make. Sometimes I pay back a considerable amount every month, and sometimes I just pay the minimum amount. I really don't care. All I know is I'm getting a really good deal when I use my line of credit. I have 2 lines of credit, which I started last year when I started Bear Media. And last year I took a hit because the business is so new. This year I'm actually breaking even, which is amazing. And so next year I expect to start making a decent profit. But anyway, that's how I do it. I put a little bit, I dollar cost average a little bit every time I make a check every month. A little bit of it goes into Bitcoin. Now, I have 2 Bitcoin accounts. That says 4. 2 Bitcoin accounts. One of them is just like a regular checking account. Like, as I need money, I pull it out. But it's a cool checking account because sometimes, say I'll put $100 in there, and I'll buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. Like, if there's a spike in price in Bitcoin, like, that $100 can turn into like $125. See what I'm saying? Or conversely, it can turn into $80. It's a chance you take. But the long-term averages just keeps going up. But anyway, that's the account I use, for like everyday expenses, like to pay your cable bill and stuff like that. Pay your phone bill, electric bill. If I get enough money in there, I use some of it to pay rent. And then I have another account where it's just like a savings account. I just keep adding to it, and I try not to take anything out of it. I try to hold on to that no matter what. Whether the Bitcoin price is way down or it's way up. Try to hold on to it. On occasion, I'll have to dip into it, but that's normal life, right? You have to dip into your savings for something. But it works. It works. Not saying you have to do this. I'm not, but educate yourself a little bit and find out what it's like, because if you're just keeping money in the bank, you're losing money every day. If you're just keeping it in a money market account, forget it. And now rates are going to be cut in September. So what's going to happen then? Bitcoin's going to go up. But the money in the bank, the money you have in the bank, is going to go down. It's going to depreciate even more than it already has. Don't forget, since Joe Biden's been president, $100 is now worth $56. And we just passed the $35 trillion mark in debt. We are bankrupt. And I've been saying for years now that Bitcoin can get us out of this. And lo and behold, what did one of our candidates just say? The male candidate with the orange hair. He's like, I think we can fix the $35 trillion deficit with Bitcoin. Great minds. Actually, his mind almost got blown out in Pennsylvania. I still can't believe that was just 2 weeks ago. Seems like forever ago, because the media has dropped the story completely. And they've gone back to pitting everybody, like, how dare you not vote for Kamala, you racist. That's what their marketing plan is now. Don't buy it. Go with the, if you want to vote for her because you feel she's the most qualified person, then do it. But if you feel as though she's not qualified, and I don't see her being qualified to be dog catcher, don't vote for her. It's up to, again, I'm not your dad. You vote for whoever you want. But anyway, I don't know how I got on that topic, but anyway, those are my income streams. There's other things going on too that I have, but it's not worth mentioning. But the point is, don't rely on just one income stream. And I was sort of doing that when I was just taking the advances, and just hoping I'd get, it was a nerve-wracking time, because I'd be like, well, okay, I'm getting this advance, and it's a good advance, but it's already spent. So then you find yourself already worrying about the next one. And then, and then you start worrying about your numbers, and am I selling enough books and stuff like that. That's why I switched to mostly independent publishing. Because I still have a bunch of books with some traditionally based publishers, and guess how much money I'm making off of those? Almost zero. What's that tell you? The industry is dying, so you gotta go with what works, and that's what I'm doing. You gotta. I've one of the reasons I've survived for 25 years in this business is because I'm malleable, and I'm able to sort of roll with the punches and change with the times. If you're not, you're done. You're completely done. All right, that's all I got. If I have this, if I update this in a year, no, if I update this income stream video in 20 months, 21 months, I'll be adding early Social Security to that. If you can believe it. I can't believe that. Amazing. Time flies. I don't look 62, do I? I don't know. I'm not there yet. Anyway. All right, you guys. I hope you're having a great Sunday. I hope you had a great weekend. I'll be coming to you at some point. I got to go to DMV tomorrow. Oh, that's like torture. I'd rather spend the night in hell. Anybody want to go to DMV on my behalf? Then I got some other shit I got to go through the week after that, but otherwise, I should have a nice free August to finish up a couple of novels. All right, that's all I got. I will talk to you guys in a couple of days, and ciao, ciao.